Hi my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Prudence and today I'm going to show you some hacks on how to easily draw poses. Now without further ado, let's jump into the video and I'll see you at the end. Today I want to show you how to learn how to draw poses. I'm not saying that you should take this as a standard to keep. I mean, you shouldn't be doing this for your entire art career. This is just a very nice, shameless first step that many artists think they shouldn't take. We all learn. We don't master something if we don't practice. There is no better way to practice than from a real life model. There is no better way to practice than practicing from the things that we see. So I want to show you that it's okay if this is your first step to practicing poses. So I went on Pinterest, which is, by the way, the biggest resource from any artist. I mean, we all reference from something. It is not that we have an entire separate world in our minds and in our brains. Back in the days, it was a real life model. If you're using a model and you know who it is, then please credit her in your work. In this case, I went on Pinterest. It wasn't mentioned who these people are, but if you know who they are, I would be gladly credit them in the description. So please let me know if you recognize any of these models. I would gladly put them in the description box. So this is the first picture that I want to show you. Now, poses have a few angles that are really important to keep in mind. So what I'm first going to do is to lower the opacity and then add a separate layer on top of it on max opacity. I use my technical pencil brush, and what I'm gonna do is there are some parts of the body that are like key points. If you get these right, you can just start building up from there on onward. So the first thing is the shoulders. The second is the chest, which goes like this. And the third one is the hips, that goes like this. Her face is looking like this. Her neck like this. Now I'm going to build up on top of the picture. If you practice this technique a lot, you will soon be able to put the picture as a reference next to your sketch, like I do in my TikTok videos. I will link one below if I don't forget. Otherwise, you can find me on TikTok at Prudence. And there are some videos that I just put a little picture here that I reference off, and then I make my sketch next to it. So what you want to do is then build your torso. You may want to use some planes for it. So this would be the torso. You can see a bit from the side. These are the hips. As they are a bit bent, you will notice that we will most likely, if they were, you know, those figurines, those drawing figurines, it's always what I keep in mind. If I'm drawing poses, we cannot see the bottom of her torso, but we can see the bottom of her hips. And so these are bent. You can imagine that her belly would be bent in this case. Her arms, we are just drawing her skeletons in some sort. And then her legs would be attached like this. If we put this on full opacity and just drag her picture to the side, you will notice that the pose is so close. Now we can lower the opacity of our original sketch and build on top of that one. So I'm not going to go into full detail, and we'll probably speed this up to show you what I'm coming towards. So as you can tell, this is the base of our model. We can totally see that the pose is already getting there. So let's try another one. Going to make a new layer and hide all the rest. Then tap the gear icon and then insert a photo. We have another model that I don't know who she is, so please, if you know, let me know. We cannot really see her face, but we can guess what's going on outside of the photo. So I'm just going to use this one as a reference anyway. So again, lower the opacity, make a new layer. This would be her face. And then her shoulders are right here. Her chest is going like so. Her hips going like so. And if we attach these all, we can guess that we're just seeing only a slight bit under her torso. Then let's attach her hips. I think we will be able to see a little bit of the top, not so much underneath. Then let's attach her bone structure. Since feet and hands are totally not easy to draw, I'd like to just make a little basic shape so I know in what direction I kind of want to draw them. What also helps is like you can add joints to know exactly where the knees are located, and you can do the same with the shoulders and elbows so you kind of know what the bending points are. Let's put this one back on full opacity, change them from position a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to lower this one's opacity again and then draw on top of it and kind of fill up their entire skeleton. I kind of wanted to show a little bit on what it would look like if she were to be clothed. As you can tell, it's also super easy now that I had included these basic shapes of the feet and the hands. That really helps to know what the position is of the hands and the feet. You also saw how easy it was to kind of fill up the shapes that we created when we first originally just looked and noticed where those key points are in the drawing. Let's do another one. This will most likely be our last one. Lower the opacity a little bit. New layer. This would be her face. Then I can imagine this would be her neck. Even though we're not seeing it, we can kind of guess where it is located. These are her shoulders, then the chest, the hips are like that. I can guess we can see a little bit on underneath her torso. How I can tell is if the chest is a little bent to the front and her hips are obviously bent to the back, so that means that we won't be able to see anything from below. Here her chest is going like this and her hips are going like this, so that kind of helps me to guess what we will be able to see from our planes, like from our shapes, from the basic shapes that we create. You will learn to feel that as you go, and you will also notice if something is off. Kind of what helps is also if you flip your canvas, you will see like if this is off or not. Like I can tell here's a little off maybe. These would be her joints. Her knees are somewhere here and her ankles here. Connecting the dots in this case. Now this is like the easiest way to learn how to draw poses. You can see a little bit from the side here. So it helps to add the basic shapes and just see it, all of it, as geometrical shapes. that really helps. You can go as detailed as you want with this base shape. We can start drawing it in. So there we go. If we just remove this, I wanted to build up the sketch with the clothes and everything, like also very basic. Didn't want to finish it, but as you can tell, it comes very close. I really struggled here, but I noticed that in my base shape, I didn't really see that her shin actually was bent. Her legs comes to the front and then bends. So I didn't really pay much attention to that from the photo. And that's how I struggled around this area. It's okay if you make mistakes along the way, but like as I say, you can just flip your canvas. You will see if there are things that you should tweak. I hope that this video was helpful. And as you learn how to do that, it will always get easier and easier as you go. So that's the most beautiful part. You will grow. In case you're using this technique and you want to show me, feel free to tag me on Instagram at Planet Prudence. It's not this is how you should do it, this is how you can do it, and you're allowed to practice and you're allowed to grow. I hope this video was useful. Please let me know in the comments if you're going to use these hacks, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed it. Thank you also massively to my patrons who are allowing me to make this content and so much more. You guys are the best. I'll leave the link to my Patreon in the description box so you can check it out too. Check out my web shop called planetprudence.com. I add a new design to the web shop every single week. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!